Hello good listeners, welcome to Literate. In this video, we will be continuing our book Why I Am an Atheist by Bhagat Singh. This is the second chapter named Blood Sprinkled on the Day of Holi, Babbar Akalis on the Crucifix. This chapter revolves around Babbar Akalis and their role in armed revolution during 1920s. They were known as Lion Sikhs. Please subscribe to the channel for free audiobooks. Hit like button and do leave your feedback in comment section. I suggest you to use headphones for better experience. Here we continue the essay. On the day of Holi, February 27, 1926, when we were getting high on our enjoyment, a terrible thing was happening in the corner of this great province. When you will hear it, you will shudder, you will tremble. On that day, 6 brave Babbar Akalis were hanged in the Lahore Central Jail. Shri Kishan Singh Ji Gadagaj, Shri Santa Singh Ji, Shri Dilip Singh Ji, Shri Nand Singh Ji, Shri Karam Singh Ji, and Shri Dharam Singh Ji had been showing a great indifference to the trial for the last 2 years, which speak of their fond waiting for this day. After months, the judge gave his verdict: 5 to be hanged, many for life imprisonment or exile, and sentences of very long imprisonments. The accused heroes thundered. Even the skies echoed with their triumphant slogans. Then an appeal was preferred. Instead of 5, now 6 were sent to the noose. The same day, the news came that a mercy petition was sent. The Punjab secretary declared that the hanging would be put off. We were waiting, but all of a sudden, on the very day of Holi, we saw a small contingent of mourners carrying the dead bodies of the heroes towards the cremation site. Then last rites were completed quietly. The city was still celebrating. Color was still being thrown on the passerbys. What a terrible indifference. If they were misguided, if they were frenzied, let them be so. They were fearless patriots in any case. Whatever they did it for this wretched country. They could not bear this injustice. They could not countenance the fallen nation. The oppression of the poor people became insufferable for them. They could not tolerate the exploitation of the masses. They challenged and jumped into action. They were full of life. Oh, the terrible toll of their dedicated deeds. You are blessed. After the death, friend and foes are all alike. This is the ideal of man. Even if they might have done to the opposite side, would highly and uninhibitedly appreciate the something hateful, their lives at the altar of our nation are something of Bengal, Jatin Mukherjee, while mourning his death. But we, the cowards and human wretches, lack the courage of even sighing and putting off our celebration even for a moment. What a disheartening deed. The poor, they were given adequate punishment even by the ended. But the curtain is not down as yet. The drama will have some standard of the brutal bureaucrats. An act of terrible tragedy does more terrible scenes. The story is quite lengthy. We have to turn back a little to know about it. The non-cooperation movement was at its peak. Punjab did not lag behind. The Sikh also arose from their deep slumber, and it was quite an awakening. The Akali movement was started. Sacrifices were made in abundance. Master Mota Singh, ex-teacher of Khalsa Middle School, Mahalpur, district Hoshiarpur, delivered a speech. A warrant was issued against him, but the idea of availing of the hospitality of the crown did not find his favor. He was against offering arrest to fill the jails. His speeches still continued. In Kot Fatuhi village, a big divan was called. Police cordoned the area off from all sides. Even then, Master Mota Singh delivered his speech. The whole audience stood up and dispersed on the orders of the president of the meeting. The master escaped mysteriously. This hide and seek continued for long. The government was in a frenzy. At last, a friend turned traitor, and Master Sahib was arrested after a year and a half. This was the first scene of that horrible drama. The Guru Ka Bagh movement was started. The hired hoodlums were there to attack the unarmed heroes and to beat them half dead. Could anyone who looked at or listened to this help being a mover? It was a case of arrest and arrest everywhere. A warrant was also issued against the Kishan Singh Ji Gadagaj, but he also belonged to the same category and did not offer arrest. The police strained all its nerves, but he always escaped. He had an organization of his own. He could not bear the violence against unarmed agitators. He felt the need of using arms along with his peaceful movement. On one hand, the hunting dogs of government, were searching for clues to get his scent. On the other hand, it was decided to reform the sycophants. Sardar Kishan Singh Ji used to say that we must keep ourselves armed for our own security, but we should not take any precipitate action for the time being. The majority was against this. At last, it was decided that 3 of them should give their names, take all the blame on themselves, and start reforming the sycophants. Sardar Karam Singh Ji, Sardar Dhanna Singh Ji, Sardar Uday Singh Ji stepped forward. Just keep aside the question of this propriety for a moment and imagine the scene when they took the oath. We will sacrifice our all in the service of the country. We swear to die fighting but not go to the prison. What a beautiful, sanctified scene it must have been when these people who had given up all their family affection were taking such an oath. Where is the end of sacrifice? Where is the limit to courage and fearlessness? Where does the extremity of idealism reside? Near a station on Sham Chorasi, Hoshiarpur railway branch line, a Subedar became the first victim. After that, all these 3 declared their names. The government tried its best to arrest them, but failed. Sardar Kishan Singh Ji Gadagaj was once almost trapped by the police near Rudki Kala. A young man who accompanied him fell down after getting injured and was captured. But even there, Kishan Singh Ji escaped with the help of his arms. He met a sadhu on way who told him about a herb in his possession which could materialize all his plans and work miracles. Sardar Ji believed him and visited this sadhu unarmed. The sadhu gave him some herbs to prepare and brought the police in the meanwhile. Sardar Sahib was arrested. That sadhu was an inspector of the CID department. The Babbar Akalis stepped up their activities. Many pro-government men were killed. The Doab land lying between Byas and Satluj, that is, the district of Jalandhar and Hoshiarpur, had been there on the political map of the country even before this. The majority of martyrs of 1915 belonged to these districts. Now again, there was the upheaval. The police department used all its power at its command, which proved quite useless. There is a small river near Jalandhar. Chaunta Sahib Gurdwara is located there in a village on the banks of the river. There, Sri Karam Singh Ji, Sri Dhanna Singh Ji, Sri Uday Singh Ji, and Sri Anup Singh Ji were sitting with a few others preparing tea. All of a sudden, Sri Dhanna Singh Ji said, "Baba Karam Singh Ji, we should at once leave this place. I sense something very inauspicious happening." The 75-year-old Sardar Karam Singh Ji showed total indifference. But Sri Dhanna Singh Ji left the place, along with his 18-year-old follower Dilip Singh. Quite suddenly, Baba Karam Singh Ji stared at Anup Singh and said, "Anup Singh, you are not a good person." But after this, he himself became unmindful of his own premonition. They were still talking when police made a declaration. "Send out the rebels, otherwise the village will be burnt down." But the villagers did not yield. Seeing all this, they themselves came out. Anup Singh ran with all the bombs and surrendered. The remaining 4 people were standing, surrounded from all sides. The British police captain said, "Karam Singh, drop the weapons and you will be pardoned." The hero responded challengingly, "We will die a martyr's death while fighting, as a real revolutionary, for the sake of our motherland, but we shall not surrender our weapons," he inspiringly called his comrades. They also roared like lions. A fight ensued. Bullets flew in all directions. After their ammunition exhausted, these brave people jumped into the river and bravely died after hours of ceaseless fighting. Sardar Karam Singh Ji was 75-year-old. He had been in Canada. His character was pure and his behavior ideal. The government concluded that the Babbar Akalis were finished, but actually they grew in strength. The 18-year-old Dilip Singh was a very handsome and strong, well-built, though illiterate young man. He had joined some Dacoit gang. His association with Sri Dhanna Singh Ji turned him from a Dacoit into a real revolutionary. Many notorious Dacoits like Panta Singh and Variam Singh too gave up Dacoity and joined them. They were not afraid of death. They were too eager to wash their old sins. They were increasing in number day by day. One day when Dhanna Singh was sitting in a village named Mohana, the police were called. Dhanna Singh Ji was down with drinks and caught without resistance. His revolver was snatched. He was handcuffed and brought out. 12 policemen and 2 British officers had surrounded him. Exactly at that moment, there was a thunderous noise of the explosion. It was the bomb exploded by Dhanna Singh Ji. He died on the spot along with 1 British officer and 10 policemen. All the rest were badly wounded. In the same fashion, Banta Singh, Jwala Singh, and some other were surrounded in a village named Mandair. They all gathered on the roof of the house. Shots were fired, a crossfire ensued for some time, but then the police sprinkled kerosene oil by a pump and put the house on fire. Banta Singh was killed there, but Varian Singh escaped even from there. It will not be improper here to describe a few more similar incidents. Banta Singh was a very courageous man. Once he snatched a horse and a rifle from the guard of the armory in Jalandhar cantonment. Those days, several police squads were desperately looking for him. One such squad confronted him somewhere in the forest. Sardar Sahib challenged them immediately. "If you have courage, come and confront me." On that side, there were slaves of money. On this side, the willing sacrifice of life. There was no comparison of motives. The police squad beat a retreat. This was the condition of the special police squad, deputed to arrest them. Anyway, arrest had become a routine. Police checkposts were erected in almost every village. Gradually, the Babbar Akalis were weakened. Till now, it had seemed as if they were the virtual rulers. Wherever they happened to be visiting, they were warmly hosted by some with fear and terror. The supporters of the regime were defeatist. They lacked the courage to move out of their residence between sunset and the sunrise. They were the heroes of the time. They were brave, and their worship was believed to be a kind of a hero worship, but gradually they lost their strength. Hundreds among them were imprisoned and cases were instituted against them. Varian Singh was the lone survivor. He was moving towards Lalpur as the pressure of the police has increased in Jalandhar and Hoshiarpur. One day he was hopelessly surrounded there, but he came out fighting valiantly. He was very much exhausted. He was alone. It was a strange situation. One day he visited his maternal uncle in the village named Dhasiya. Arms were kept outside. After taking his meal, he was moving towards his weaponry when the police arrived. He was surrounded. The British officers caught him from the backside. He wounded him badly with his kirpan, and he fell down. All the efforts to handcuff him failed. After 2 years of suppression, the Akali Jatha came to an end. Then the cases started, one of which has been discussed above. Quite recently too, they had wished to be hanged soon. Their wish has been fulfilled. They are now quiet. This was the second chapter of our very first book. Stay tuned for upcoming videos covering the rest of the chapters. Thanks and keep listening to Literate.